Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing out there? Hello, hello. Let's see. What are we going to cover today? How's everyone doing out there? Good morning, Scotty. Let's see. Give it a few seconds here to get everybody on board. Jimmy, good morning. Let's see. Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's making some money, or at least getting positions ready for money, huh? I know it's been a little difficult this week especially is going to be, well, all right. The next 3 weeks is going to be tough, to be honest. We've got a lot going on with the Feds. We have a lot going on with geopoliticals. We have earnings. So there's a lot happening out there to be careful with, for sure. This morning, in fact, we had PPI. I don't know how that went. I can look up real fast for you. Let's see. So there's a lot happening out there to be careful with, for sure. I've been using Google AI for a lot of the Fed summaries and stuff, and man, it's been pretty awesome. So according to this, across 13 different sites, the PPI, which is a Producer's Price Index, has unexpectedly fallen by 0.3% for June, outperforming consensus expectations of 0. So it's sharpest month-over-month wholesale price decline since August of last year. What's up, Crystal? How you doing? So that's a good thing. Which means, so what that means is the prices for wholesale raw goods was supposed to just be neutral, and it actually fell by a little bit. So I think that's why we're seeing this big pump in some of the sectors here. So IWM, we're seeing a pump. Obviously in tech, we're seeing a sell-off. SPY is kind of just flat. Russell was it 2,000, 1,000. IWD and the 2,000 are kind of similar. IWD, IWM, which is so this is confusing, right? So if you were buying into QQQ, you would be selling off today, but if you were buying into Salesforce, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Google, Oracle, a few others, you would actually be doing very well. So, but not Tesla. Tesla's down. So it's kind of a confusing thing. So PPI in some ways has helped, in other ways hasn't. So that's kind of how this goes, right? You diversify through sectors so that when you have these kind of weird Fed data days, you don't get slammed in only one spot, right? So it's kind of interesting. Oh my! I just went through a really quick Q put just as I started here, just for fun, and it's already doing pretty well. I'm kind of dropping down again. Let's see. Oh, I've got this double. I was doing a was it TQQQQ QQQ. How many Qs is there? Overlay on the Qs just to see how different it would have ran if you had gone, into a comparison overlay. And this is it. So TQQQ would actually had outperformed in the bullish days of Qs starting in earlier 2026. It would have actually done quite well in comparison to just straight Qs. Not to mention the, of course, the price is more affordable. So use that overlay on TradingView. It's super, super helpful. All right. Qs are doing something different, so they must be moving today. Just listen today while I work. Trading futures, also hearing a quiet echo of your audio. Okay, I probably have a tab. Let me find it. Yep, right there. I always have at least one tab open there. It screws me up. All right. Rob, thank you. All right, let's get back to this. Let's go look at the Qs real quick. So we've got a lot of lines here that I probably could just get rid of. They're probably old orb lines, to be honest. Let me just take a quick gander and see where they... Oh, that's too far. Yeah, they're just resistance and support lines. Okay. Yeah, we can just get rid of those. That yellow line obviously is a trend, so I'm gonna keep that. I'll keep that blue one. All right. So we need to get zoomed into today, and we'll do a quick review of Orb. Futures, yes, I do. Last night I was up till 2 o'clock trading oil. I finally got in the peak there at 2 o'clock, literally 2:05. It hit 80.85 and was able to grab a sell or a put contract on it and let it run down long enough to where I can put a stop in and I can go to sleep. So I was really hoping it would just be able to be a quick one, but it was not. So I refused to fall asleep and let this thing blow my portfolio. So yes, I did do an MCLQ26, which is a oil contract on futures for it. Oh my goodness. Because I wanted to capitalize on what's going on with the oil thing. And I wanted to avoid the Greeks and options on it this time. I ran puts on the USO twice. And while I've done well, I think I've excuse me, I've done 2 successful multiple contract puts on USO, probably nearing around, I could tell you exactly, around 2,000, I think is where, let's see, yep. Yeah, 450 was the most recent one for a 114 put. And then I have, must have been more than a month ago. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oh, I did it in the other portfolio. That's why. I'm like, I know there's one. No, sorry. USO 1570. That was my long hold one. So that was a 146 put that I did in April and had to hold it from April all the way till it was sometime like mid-June. I sold it and I closed it. I sold it in like mid-June. It was like a two-ish, 2.5 months hold for that one. And man, that was a wild ride. Tell you what, that was tough. You know, it really kind of wasn't fun. It was like super in the money, and then negative 200, and then it was all over the place. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Oh, interesting. So we've hit this top peak again. on SPX and double topped it, and now we're falling. Okay. So even though PPI came back somewhat positive, the market's not really happy about it. Interesting. Now we do have the beige book at noon Eastern time. 2 o'clock. Yes, it was 2 o'clock. I told somebody noon. That was my time. 2 o'clock today is the beige book, and you have to look that one up. Google the beige book federal reports, and it's a. I don't want to take time to look it up, but it's kind of a confusing thing, and it definitely can affect the markets. It's essentially a rebound. It's a rebalancing. It's like a budget sheet type of thing, and that's at 2 Eastern time today. So if you start seeing the market doing something wacky at noon, 12:05, you'll know it's the beige book. All right. So, but anyways, yes, Rob. Hey, Brian, what's up? Sorry, I missed your comment. That's okay. We really didn't get into much yet. So yeah, beige book at noon. Sorry, 2 p.m. I can't think that way. 2 p.m. Eastern, noon Mountain Time is the beige book. So if you see the markets being iffy, that's why. So be careful with options or 0 DTEs coming into noon. Oh my goodness, noon Mountain Time at 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so pre-market already is finished, so we have what we have. Let's see. I'm waiting for Qs. I ran the Qs down to here. I already closed this one out. It was minimal. It was like I only ran it like, I don't know, 50 cents. I'm not in much right now. I am in American Airlines. So if we want to cover that real fast, just as a reminder, what we did last week is we talked about Jay Rain, or Josh. He brought this to our attention. And I recognized a pattern that potentially was going to be it. Now, it's not as pretty as these two blue lines. But it's an inverse cup and handle, not head and shoulders, cup and handle. And not sure why. It must be some kind of level of support right here to why it bounced. Yeah. So there's a few points right there. 1, 2, 3 sections of support as to why it bounced right there. I don't think they're going to hold. I would think it's going to do a little bit of a rebound here, just as a consolidation factor, and then still keep falling. So anyone from last Wednesday that jumped into American Airlines puts, I know I had said somewhere in here that it would be too early, and frankly, I thought it would be. Earnings is next week, so I figured we would have much more time to do a fall, but no, it's still it fell early, so it could still not be an inverse cup and handle, which is a bearish chart pattern. It could just simply look like it and be nothing like that, or it could have been and then it failed. It bounced off here and it's going to come back up. Who knows? I still have a price target roughly of about $14.50 on this. I don't see it doing well with summertime ending and oil prices, being iffy. The war is still going on, so their budget sheet also is pretty crappy. If you compare them to Delta's chart looks very similar, but they actually have some way better fundamentals. And see, I drew it too. It was actually funny. I did a double bounce here, and before I even knew it did this, and it actually did. So that's kind of funny. Though it did not drop below, so my arrow is wrong. It hit this support line and it's just cruising. So what I'm saying is Delta's somewhat inverse cup and handle bearish pattern is looking to fail, which I would expect because their earnings were not. It's right here. The earnings fell a little bit, but they did not break that neckline, and they actually did well. So watch for American Airlines to continue falling to that 1450 spot. Not sure if it's going to really hold on to this level. I would like it to see another dollar fall to this lower trend line for earnings. So we'll see how it goes. But Whirlpool is another one I have a video on. This one's interesting and a very much long-term play. So there is about a $50 range between channels here. And every time it has, I mean, I'm talking like in years. This channel goes on for years. If you watch my video, I have a breakdown on it. But this thing goes on and on and on. So all the way back to 2022 is where I marked the channel kind of forming at, although it did go somewhat farther. And every time it got down to the level, it bounced at least to midline, if not all the way through. Now that one was a breakout, but it failed and gapped all the way back. A huge gap. 130 to 112 overnight in the earnings. This is why earnings makes no sense sometimes. If you look at earnings from here to here, it's all upside. So they've been gaining in price value. Why would it gap down and then fall with Earnings are terrifying to play because you never know how it's going to go. There was a support here that it sat for a minute and it bounced, failed again, sat here. So now we're down at the bottom of, and this is Whirlpool, by the way. Whirlpool, the appliance company. And they're struggling for sure with competition and other stuff, but you can see a gap here with this earnings and earnings coming up again. So here's the funny part is we're going to be coming into earnings on trend line. So we have no room to gap down if we're going to continue this channel. Also, there's a support level right here, nearly on the same day of earnings. So how do we play this, right? RSI looks fine. MACD is meh. CCI doesn't help either. And this is on the daily. So it's, this took months just to sit here. At some point, we're going to either have a breakdown and finally crash through this trend line, or it's going to bounce on this earnings, which it actually hasn't done in like forever, and make its way back up. I don't know. So I'm not sure what this line here is for. It's in a gap. I think I was going for like a target. I'm not. Maybe I moved that one back so then. That would probably be my next target would be mid 48s. So just keep this one in mind. Keep this one on your watch list. I'm not saying to buy into this right now. I never say to buy into anything. Of course, no, this is all educational, non-financial advice. But definitely keep this one in your pocket because it has great upside. So, earnings, when is earnings? Monday 27, is that this Monday? No, it's in 2 Mondays. Okay. So we've got plenty of time for this thing to turn around. If it gaps down, I suppose, let's say it runs to like 41, right there, and then drops to 32. That's, fair. I could see that happening. But again, at some point, it's got to hit this and get back up toward the middle of the channel, which is going to be like a 31 to 60. So that's a $30 move. Of course, that is going to take months. It's going to take literally, like this one did. Well, let's go with the one that came to the trend line. Okay. So we'll do June 1st, and then midline somewhere in here, October. Okay, okay. So like roughly 4 months. October here to March here. So it takes some serious time. This is going to be one that if you're going to play this up to the middle of this channel, you're going to need some serious time on it for sure. But yeah, it's you know, if you have the capital for it, let's see, we could look up the options and just see what let's see what these cost real fast. Ooh, nice. I'm up 72 on oil futures. Sweet. Oh, by the way, I got stopped out on one of these reversals this morning. I was doing super well. It was like I was up almost $125. It reversed. I left it. And I didn't close it, and it did these like 3 peaks, and it literally hit $1 or 1 tick into my stop, closed me out, and then it fell in my direction. So I lost profit from the bottom point up to the stop. The stop was actually trailing stop, so I was still up, but then it fell back down to where it was, and so stops are great. They can be frustrating still. But I jumped back in because I knew at some point it's going to keep falling, and there it goes. We're still doing good. All right, so let's do... let's figure earnings is here. So prices are going to be wonky because we're going to be coming into earnings. So these won't be accurate unless you're going to play earnings now or just go for it, right? Let's just see anyways. Oh, yeah, they're pricey. That's silly. Even an August 21st call on this for $40 strike is almost $400. It's because we're coming into earnings. It always jacks the prices around. So now anything beyond that's going to look really expensive until we can get to earnings, and then we can go the next 3 months out. So, yeah, there's no point even wasting time looking at this. You could do shares, of course. You could load up on shares at $40 a share. It's a little heavy, so you need a lot of capital for it to do much of anything. But anyways, this is one to watch. First time viewing outside of the one time you filled in for Dr. Stock. Ugh, last Friday. That was such a crappy day. Yeah, I watch Mo's lives all the time, and he does great on the chop stuff. I don't know. My brain just doesn't work that way. I can follow things like this, better. I can see the overall momentums and motions on things. And obviously off the 50s, like what he was saying yesterday, they made a lot of sense. But man, when it goes to those just wacky sideways candles, I just can't. I don't know. I can't do it. That was my problem on Friday. Is I just can't. I can't follow what he does like that. So yeah, he's really great at that stuff. SPX still sitting on the 50 and the 5. Qs are starting to run sideways now, kind of with the same thing with the SPY. So it's waiting for something. Let's see. Let's find an individual stock to talk about. Like I said, I am in American Airlines. I've got a 16.5 strike put for 724 because I want to get into earnings. I want to see. I may not hold it into earnings, but I want to see at least up until that point what it's doing. So I'm slightly in the money. Meh, not much. Let's see. Okay. Looking at my watch list here for anything that might be worth it. A lot of tech stocks ran a lot this morning, so obviously they're going to start fizzling out. Let's see. Just pull a clip on that one. Oh, I think I was in. Was it Now? I wanted to jump into one of them. I guess I didn't do it. Now, ServiceNow, I think was one I liked this morning, but I got distracted. Oof, IBM selling off again. back down to 215. IBM. Can you imagine being just happen to be in a put for IWM, like just whatever, you know, not thinking about it. And I heard that they actually sent out a letter to, I guess, their bigger investors or something, and mentioned that they're going to put out a negative report soon, so be careful, blah, blah, blah. So it's funny. So it's showing earnings is what happened, but then I Google earnings, and even on Robinhood, it doesn't show the same date, which I find really funny. But that makes sense what earnings would have crushed it. But even if you had out the money earnings, like for puts, like, you know, something way out there that really shouldn't have done anything, you still would have picked up a solid amount of money. 290, same one candle. one candle. 282 to 222. $60 candle in the hour. Oh my goodness, that is just absolutely insane. Lucid, what are they doing? I know they've been down the... Oops, what am I doing? I don't need that. I'm just gonna duplicate that. Lucid's been down. I heard they did they do a forward split or something? Was that them? Doesn't exist. Yeah? Okay. Because I meant to have it click on that. Derp. I mean, if you held puts in this thing for a long while, yeah. Wow. Holy moly. I mean, if you go back years, yeah, it wouldn't be an overnight thing, but you have a lot of fake outs for sure. Especially starting here at $25 in fall of 25. That would have been your sweetest drop. Most recent sweetest drop would have been oh, like a leap kind of. Let's see, October 25. Oh, October 26. We're not there yet. So obviously, so yeah, if you did like some type of long-term almost leap on this, starting around fall of 25, yeah, that would have been privatized. Or yeah, I figure the cars are cool. I've looked into them. Rivian's the same way. In fact, we actually have a Rivian like headquarters right here in town, and so we see a lot of Rivian cars. And I don't know why. I kind of like their SUV. I don't know. I can't even explain like what about it I like, but I kind of do. I don't know. I can't help but put some trend lines up when I see things like this. It's like, ooh, look at that. I can recognize a pattern. Even if it's messy. It's just something. It's kind of like a channel, isn't it? I don't know. It's kind of weird one. You could do that. I have a new thing I do where I used to really hate chopping wicks and candles. But I talked to a few gurus lately about that, and they're like, nah, you know, these trend lines are our visuals, right? They're guidelines. They're not exactly perfect every time. So if you see an overall trend of the chart, go ahead and just put them through, even if you're cutting some of the wicks. Just understand that, you know, next time it gets to that point, it might blow through it for a little while and not exactly turn around on it, right? So I've been doing something like this where it looks ugly, but the overall average of that is staying within a channel, right? Just a hint for you guys. Rivian for sure has nice trucks. Yeah, I kind of like them. I really can't pinpoint why. And I'm not a big EV person. I love my engines. But I don't know. Rivian's got something. I don't know. Can't really tell what it is. I think they have electric trailer home connects. Oh, really? Interesting. I've never. So like a camper, like a higher end camper. Huge trying to break. 50 on the 1 minute. Ah, yes. All right. Well, anyways, that's Rivian stuck in this channel for the last while, months. But I do like them more than other EV companies. Not Tesla. I just mean like overall. But yeah, so keep in mind Rivian could be one great for shares, consolidate in shares and see if they can break out of the market. You know, get back up to here in the 30s. That'd be kind of cool from 20s. So SPY moving. All right, let's get ready. What time is it? 9:10. All right. HIMS looks like it's did. Oh yeah, HIMS was up today. Cool. HIMS making moves. I need to get back into HIMS. I was following the trend on HIMS for a while, but then rejected. Rejection. I think a sound button. P-Libs, yeah. Yep. It was like, not today. Did SPY. SPY is above the 50 on the 1. And there's a order block here that it did tap in, reject off of that. So now it's got this little tiny space of what's it going to do. My guess is 50 is not going to hold. Generally, these are more strong. But they don't have to be, like, they're not required, right? You don't, just because there's a red block here doesn't mean it's going to reject. But I love this additional indicator to Mo's recipe, volumized FVG. It really just helps show resistances. Over anything else, I use that for a nice visual of resistance. Yeah, it's trying to break the 50. Yep. SPX, did that one change? 5 minute? No, not much. Still holding 50. All right. What are the differences? What do you want to see here in this live in comparison to others? You guys can feel free to ask questions or whatever you want to see. Where's my tab? Oh, there it is. Okay. Ha, Jordan, you're hilarious. You're so funny. Sorry, I don't have enough room right here to do a handstand. So, you guys, oh my gosh. This link is the monthly payment plan to lifetime. It is $253 a month after backflip. Y'all are nuts. I don't have space. I've got three by 8 right here. Okay. Plus, I am not a flipper. Trust me. I can barely make it around. I can barely make it around on trampoline. Meads, I did not buy the TradingView subscription, so I cannot fully utilize StockMo. So they made a deal with TradingView to because they put so much into the script, it actually should be more than one indicator. But they made a deal with TradingView to make it one indicator if they were to sell it to others that they're going to pay for, right? Technically, it has worked. I can't say it anymore it was working for me when I had the free version like a while back. But TradingView, oh wow, that was a heavy rejection. But TradingView, really, their deal was that you have a paid account. So, yeah, I know what you mean. That it's, you know, you're not paying for the well, basic isn't much. I think basic on TradingView with a sale is like 20 a month. Don't quote me on that one. But it's not bad. You can make that back, you know, pretty easily. Even in shares, you can make that back, you know. So anyways, yeah, so because, you know, we got to talk about it. That link up there in the chats is lifetime access, monthly payments, 40% off, brings it down to $253. I think monthly earner plus is around 100. So for, you know, a bit more, you get to work toward being lifetime instead of just being monthly. You get access to all the traders, live streamers is what I mean. Access to all live streamers, the extra live streams with Mo, and the bread recipe, which is the most like benefit, to be honest, because this thing is good for futures. It's good for everything. I really like it. It's incredibly awesome. All right, are we gonna scalp this thing? Are we gonna work on this? Are we gonna do this? Where's our support? Okay, broke that support, so we're gonna try to test this out. I'm pretty sure 713. Oh, I'm on the wrong account, of course. I like that it warned me. It was like, hey, by the way, that's not gonna fly. Thanks. But now I'm late to my entry. Figures. Let's see. I think someone put a price range 753 for. Oh, it's been chopping it. Okay, yeah. Mead, speaking of Jordan, what happened the other day? Hopefully all is well. I know he moved and was having internet issues. Oh. Funny, when I was... Oh, wow, look at that. It wicked all the way down to where I said it was gonna, and then... Yep. Man, those wicks. That's crazy. I did not enter because my system, I was too delayed, and I figured that was going to happen off of this bottom. That's crazy. Look at that wick. Went all the way down to here, just below. Hit the band and then flew back up. SPX is... So I was told by somebody that 2 points above and below the 50 mark on SPX is generally considered like a rejection or I guess we'll just call it rejection zone for both support and resistance. So I've been blocking these out, 50s, just to see what they actually do. And I can't say that it's like truly predictable. You know, like I don't know. In longer time frames, they kind of look better at actually tapping into it and then rejecting, like right there. That worked out, but that did not. That did eventually. So I don't know. And like right now today, we're sitting right in that spot, right? We just came down 50s in that spot. So are we going to reject and push up? Or is it going to be a failure, right? But even though we're moving around, this kind of a sideways chop I can play. Off the 50, I could have played that one more consistently. Then when Mo plays these, I can't. My brain does not work with these things. But I think this would be okay. This one going back up would be okay. I do have a hard time trading and talking though. So live streaming and talking, I'm not good at that yet. Oh, Meads, I did the lifetime to support and gain knowledge. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's, I mean, I know the prices now are higher than what they were. So if you got in on the last one, then you did well. But yeah, the prices will continue to rise, and he is adding more things to the value of Earner Plus. So I would like to see it break that 50 before freedom. Yeah. And $253 a month. I mean, I know with this economy, I mean, $253 a month is definitely heavy if you really aren't planning for it. Obviously, that's a lot, and it's a commitment because it is 12 months of paying for that. But it is an investment on services. When I was telling this to the chat yesterday, is you can't expect to go to college for a skill for free, right? You're paying someone for time to teach you. This is kind of similar, but in this regard, it's more of a community teaching you versus a dedicated professor. Though Mo is obviously doing a ton of the teaching, but it's kind of how it goes. I finished paying my school, which is $320 a month, so it was not money I was seeing anyways. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could put it that way. You were used to paying that bill, so now you're just rolling it somewhere else. That's true. Yeah. And technically this live stream here is supposed to be only in Earner Plus, but every time we do that, we don't really get many people. I don't know. It's like I get like maybe 5 to 6 viewers, versus when I put it into the main chat, I'm over 20 generally. Gonna try a call if we touch lower B band again. Yeah, it is widening. I mean, we are the 1 minute. 1 minute really isn't very fair to see. I still feel like it's gonna fall. I feel like this is kind of the stock Mo trio. See, in the larger time frames, it went down sideways, and I think we're gonna go down again. But it is calling RSIs oversold, so hard to tell. Point of control for the visual range profile is right below that, right here at 712.17. So it should tap into that area and then reject back up to at least the 50, around 720. But we don't have much buying like pressure. Like, there's just no reason. What am I doing? Let's look at the 15 on the SPY. Okay, it's kind of sitting in this buying order block from earlier. Was it yesterday? Yeah. So we're waking off the bottom of that box in the 15 minutes. I feel like that's not going to hold as a rejection point, though. I just don't see any reason for the market to be bullish. Backflip. Y'all are crazy. I told you I can't even do a backflip on a trampoline. And trust me, as a prior snowboarder, not being able to rotate very well was really, really frustrating. Prior sponsored snowboarder. So I'd be doing competitions, and I can't do half the stuff that these guys were doing. I can go fast, I can do great turns, I can do, yeah, here we go. I can do other stuff, but rotations, man. Not built for that. 15 minutes, 5 minutes. I want to say it rejects off of here, but also I just don't see a reason why the market would be bullish, to be honest. I really just don't. MACD is looking red. RSI is looking red. CCI is... It's kind of just flat chop. I don't know why I keep opening these. Like they're going to do something different for me. Sideways. It does. It's under the 50 on the 5 in the SPX. Gap fill. It gapped up? Where's the gap? You mean SPX gap? Oh, right there. Where's my thing? All right, here. Okay, so we've only have a small window. I mean, it's only. I mean, it's enough to do something, but it's not huge. It did hit that support line, resistance line, and bounced down. It's just not moving very quick. But yeah, so when Jordan says gap fill, this is what he means. It's this area here from the last closing candle to the opening candle. Right? So there was no candles in the middle. It didn't like do this, right? It didn't stair step up or down. It closed and then reopened. Boom. Like that. So that gap, the market doesn't, I don't say it doesn't like it, but historically, when you have a gap like that on like major markets like SPX here, this is the SPX essentially is the larger version of SPY, right? It's just a different style, but it's essentially, they're very similar. And so you have this gap on here, then you're going to expect the market to, at some point recently soon, come back around to fill that spot with the future candles. So right now we only have a small bit. Today I am slammed, man, and I would love to watch it. I'll probably have to watch it from on the go, but I'm gonna be really busy today. As soon as this live is over, I'm pretty much on the run. Fed chair do not show up here on. Okay, that's a helpful news headline. So, anyways, that's what gap is. And for those that didn't know what he meant by gap, it's literally a spot where there's no candles from overnight. And that means that it's a weak zone, and generally the market will fill it up in the middle there with future candles. So once it gets down to this line, then things will get funny because now it's filled that spot and now it needs to do something else, right? So that's where the market movers are going to figure out how to, we're going to sell off more, or will it reject and go back up now that it's filled? So that's what gapping means. Oh no, I moved my thing. So see how we tapped a little bit into it, and now we're kind of going up. What's Q doing? Yeah, going back up to the 50. All right, I'm going to try to run the Qs back up to the 50. We're in the 2-minute frame. Oh, okay. We're in the 50 for the 1-minute frame. We're going to hold the 1-minute frame then. It's so funny how it does that. You're like, oh, the 50's way up here. And you're like, just kidding. I mean, it is up there within that time frame, but it's not. Yep, SpaceX. Yep. SpaceX going down for sure. Nice. My oil futures are at 84. Love that. Yeah. 135.76 is what SpaceX is sitting at, man. I knew I should just IPO flipped back when it was up high. I kind of didn't want to. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to flip, and then we flagged and case it. Like, you know how that goes. I only got 2. I was only assigned 2 anyway, so it wasn't like it was, you know. All right, 1 minute cues. I want to see that candle confirm in the 50, or at least close well. 7/16/47. Sure. Yeah, 50. Somewhere in there, right where the 50 is crossing that candle. I would, yeah. That would be a solid potential, that purple line there. For a resistance area. So if it does confirm above the 50, it's not going to move much unless it can blow through that. In which case 7/17 might be the next stop. But it doesn't look like it's going to even... Well, I don't know. EMAs are coming up to touch. 5 might... No, never mind. Nope. So there was definitely a... Yeah, so there's a small order block here, and that's what this tapped into, and rejected off of that even before support. There's a lot of them. There's that one there, this one here. When it's choppy, it does a lot of that. So let's see. Is there anything I'm playing besides oil? IBM still falling. Google's still running? Holy moly. Check this out. Man, I didn't realize Google was still flying. The purple line was prior support. Clearly it landed on it and then kept going. I don't have any more lines above that. Is this all-time high? Oh, no. So we're nearing this historic peak back at early July. Getting real close to the top of that. So for Google, I would be expecting it to finally reject off of that. I mean, we're talking 370, high 370s. So we're really close to that right now. Overbought, no kidding. Would orb have helped? So here's your opening orb candle, massive opening candle. And there's confirmation, yep. But it was back at 8 o'clock before we even started here. So 15-minute time frame, mark out the tops and bottoms of the wicks or candles of the first 15-minute candle. So we marked 7:30, 9:30, whatever. And then drop to a 5-minute for big runners like this, 5-minute candle or 5-minute time frame, and look for candles that will land on top but not break. So that would be these ones right here. These two especially I like a lot. Now definitely iffy because it's saying overbought, and so at any point it could have fallen, but it it still hasn't. But these are technically the confirming candles because they did not break or touch the line They can touch. The wicks can touch the line, but it can't break through the line. If the wick is down below, it's technically not a confirming candle. But these two did not, and so therefore you can confirm here, and then have opened up your long. Somewhere in here, roughly. I would have targeted for a tight stop loss, probably would have gone with the bottom of that candle right there, just after orb, giving some wick distances, and then, oops. At that point, we're 1 to 3, so I like doing a double off of stop loss. So if it's 1.2, I would have done at least a 3. And obviously, if you look at this, it's run way higher. 7. So, definitely orb was spot on this morning for Google. This one would have been iffy. You would have had to hold through here and fear it's going to fail and drop down. That one would have been scary for sure. But then after you grabbed this, then you're off to the races. So, it's always the worst of options when you get into something, even futures. The worst of it is the beginning. When you first enter anything, generally, unless it's just running, you're red for a little while and you're like, oh, so that's the only iffy part right there. And then it would have ran. So orb, as my headline says, this is too easy. Orb made Google play very, very easy today. Yep. And I like to say at some point it's going to turn around, but obviously it will. But when? I don't know. We're getting real close to that top end. What I say was 73, 70, 60, was it? Oh, we're in the 5 minute. That's right. So we're in the wick area now of that earlier July peak. So any point in here is going to be resistance. So 370, 60. Oops. Where's my... There it is. Okay. A little bit of room left. Bollinger Band is widening out, but see, this is the stuff that I drew a prior resistance before. Actually, no, who said that? Someone else said that. Oh, right there, B-libs. Yeah. So we drew that resistance level out when you mentioned that, and then here it is. Wick, reject. Wick, close, reject. So now the 13 is coming up to the 50. So we'll see if it can actually do something here and try to get through. We got the 13 over 50 now. Moe's bread recipe signal right there. So let's see. This is the Qs on the 1 minute. Yep. Man, Google, $12 today. Would have been wonderful. Got an alert. IBM has experienced elevated volatility. Yeah, no kidding. That's funny. If you need to be alerted that IBM is doing wild things, you need more education before you play stocks. when a stock falls like 80 points overnight, yeah, it's a big deal. What's up with PayPal, huh? I had some PayPal shares last night. Noticed that it popped up like $6. I was like, what? PayPal overnight $6? Why? Oh, that's why. Stripe and Advent reportedly offered to buy PayPal for $53 billion. $53 billion. That's not even. How many zeros is in that? Jeez, Fiserv stock just jumped. Oh, Fiserv. Yeah, I used to. What's the ticker for? Oh, I'll just type it out. Fiserv. Why Fiserv just popped? Popped a bubble, maybe? What are you talking about? Popped? It didn't do anything. This is an article that a headline popped up. Popped. Oh, weekly. Okay, that would help if I'm actually, somewhat close to like real life. There we go. All right. Well, all right. That's still nothing. Nothing to write home about. Okay. Anyways, cover calls and PayPal Monday. I'm cooked. Oh no. Yeah. That's not going to go well. $60 a share they're offering. Interesting. I mean, the highest this thing's got in a while was January of 25 at 91. $75 in October 25 last fall. So yeah, I wouldn't run. Yep, it rejected off of it again. Qs. Yep, you're right. Meads. Covered calls on PayPal, so you're holding some serious capital on that thing. 100 shares, so you're looking at. And so you were back probably before the pop here, so about $5,000 you're in roughly or more. Yeah. And if I was gonna throw $5,000 at something, I probably would have done two. Oh, you two? So you're double that. Oh my goodness. I mean, all right. So your covered calls are cooked, but as long as you don't have to, as long as you're not like assigned to sell, I mean, yeah, your shares should be doing great though. Unless you're gonna sell them off, but. View up. I don't have that turned on here. The middle Bollinger Band line. I mean, it's holding on top of the 50. It's been holding on top of the 50 for almost 15 minutes here. So, what's it going to do? It's planning on something. It's in consolidation for something. Well, I was going to try to fail. How's Google doing? Top it out. Yeah. Yes, that's fine. This is I think one of those days where, it did a lot at the beginning. Oh man, is this gonna be a fake out, or are we gonna fall back down to the 714 level? Oh boy, 760 on SPY. I mean, yeah. This green line I drew here on the SPY is basically acting as my visual resistance. So when I'm not zoomed out, I can still see, you know, you'd have to break that, which also means you're breaking prior highs. So, and without a big push for being bullish, I'm not seeing it. Yeah. Now the 50 is holding very well in the 15-minute chart here on the SPY. The 50 on the 15 is holding nicely, but the bears are really trying to pull it down, like really trying to pull it down. No, there it goes. We're gonna go back to wonder if it's gonna go back to 714. Bull band's coming up to meet. Yeah, if you were in a short from up top, you're doing great. One minute, yeah. 6 seconds to the next candle. Oh, got a block there. I'd like to see it push down back towards 714. Struggling with this right here. This combination of candles, zone, it's struggling. Everything looks good for it to fall to 714, but the candles don't reflect that. Oh, there we go. Little doji. Doji popped up. Kind of looks like a mini hammer almost. That would have been a bullish. I guess because we're in a 1 minute, it's not really a strong play. $15, so we're gonna head into 714 to be awesome. Blow through this line and get down here to 714 would be great. I would love that. Yeah, kind of looks like it, huh? So 714 area looks like it's been a resistance from yesterday, or I'm sorry, a support from yesterday as well. And yeah, it's just not moving enough, and I got to get moving on my day. SPY's trying to break that 50 on the 15, so watch for SPY to fall. I would say probably down, if that fails, I would look for it to drop to 752 and then reevaluate from there. So really not a huge drop, but $1. SPX still needs to fill that spot, so if that's going to go down there, then I would think that we need to fill to at least 751s, somewhere in the 751s, if this is going to fill today. Google's starting to finally flatten out. It's funny. There's a reversal off of that. Yeah. Yeah, this would be a tough one to play. Unless you grab, if you get right in here early before it fell, you were golden. If this thing runs back up, you get into calls now, it'd be golden and bounce off this Bollinger Band. But it seems like it's trying to fall. It's just going to be one of those like stair-steppy deals where it's going to fake out. You'll be red for a little bit before you turn green, kind of thing. So, anyways, I gotta get going, but that's about it for everybody. Yeah. Yeah, we covered a bunch of stuff. Is there one more? I've got time, like 2 minutes. Is there anything else somebody wants to see before I go? Any other tickers? Any other questions? Did I miss any comments? I don't think I did. Oh, there's a retracted message from B-Libs. I didn't see that. I don't know. Yeah, the comments are all caught up, so yeah. Well, I'm just gonna kind of hold on this, wait for better movements. I don't like, since I'm too busy now. I can't really sit there and watch this chop. I gotta get doing stuff. So, might be good at some point here to drop a put on Google and see if it'll return to earth. This $12 run. See it, maybe pull down to 365. That would be a nice put win there. RSI is definitely oversold on the 15, or overbought. I'm sorry, overbought on the 15. Everything's pretty good, so might be up there in time here to play a put on Google, but SPX finally fallen. The 5 slowly working its way through this gap, like painfully slow. That candle was nice. 60-cent candle. Double up here would have been really wonderful. 15 minute time frame, no kidding. All right, so it did blow through that block. So now we're below the block. Is it going to reject in the bottom and come back up, or is it going to keep falling? And one of these guys. Don't know. All right, well, looks like it's going to keep falling. As I would think, it'd reject off the bottom and continue down to roughly 752.30. Somewhere in there. Watch for a reversal here for calls, but if not, 752.30 would be likely the bottom of that spot. And then that's after hours. Yeah, 752 is going to be likely a hard stop for it to hit. So anyway, I got to get running. Thank you, everybody. What is today? Wednesday. So Monday, big gainer. Yeah. If you, I was looking at our stuff. So if you caught that run down, that would have been awesome. That would have been super awesome. I wish I was seeing that earlier. I was looking at Qs and it didn't do anything. So yeah, SPY I think might be your best option today to grab these longer chop zones. Q's chops are just so tight. SPY's chops are looking better for more safety. And honestly, they're way cheaper. Like at the money, 0DT put right now is 70 versus Q's at 143. So Q's is double the price right now than SPY. So you have less risk. So if you're going to play anything, even play small, looking for 10, 15 bucks, I would suggest probably staying with SPY today until other things are moving differently. And again, watch SPX to get down to the 75.43 zone. That's when the gap will be filled, and then, you know, things will be different from there. Also, 2 p.m. Eastern time, the Beige Book report comes out. So if things get funny at that time frame, you'll know why. Okay? All right, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for everything. The link for Lifetime is in the chats. I can drop it again just so that it's more fresh. Here it is. And of course, code FREEDOM is the 40% off, which brings it down to $253 a month for 12 months for lifetime access to Earner Plus. All right. Monday, I'll be back on. Yeah. I don't see why I couldn't be. So we'll be back on Monday, and we'll see. I'm going to try to see if I can get in earlier. It seems like a lot of these orb movements are happening between like 15-20 minutes earlier than I start. So I'm thinking maybe if I can, I will try to be in early on Monday. No promises, but if not, be still that 10:30 time frame, Eastern 10:30 time frame. All right. Okay. Yep. I don't see anything new in chat. So thanks so much. We'll see you guys Monday. I appreciate everyone stopping by. And of course, the links there is my affiliate link. So I get a small commission based on that to help me stay doing these lives for you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.